Okay, hello everyone. Hello Eileen, hello Lance and John. How are you? Good to see you.
Hello,
I'm very
everyone.
excited. Yes, Lance, are you with us? I'm not sure that he can hear us. Hello, Lance, can you hear me? No, not a problem. Okay, good. So we, it's okay. So let's start. Eileen, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, and then John, and then we will start with questions and have some fun. Start, Eileen.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you and John for inviting me onto the show. My name is Eileen Josafa. I am a mom to three lovely boys. I like to call them my three little kings. I've been in corporate America in financial services for the past 20 plus years. And
Wow.
I just got, yes. And I just recently left corporate at the end of 2019. I started recognizing my potential, my gifts, and I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And finally, I just woke up with an epiphany. Hey, why not start now? So I left corporate, like I said, late last year, and then now I'm starting my own business. I'm in real estate investing, and I have that great opportunity to have an awesome coach, John here, and so
Yeah.
he's helping me navigate, through my business, and I am just so happy to be here. It was a scary decision, but I made it, so I'm here. So I'm very excited about
Well
that.
done. Very, very well done. Wow. Okay, John, tell me a bit about you. I don't know you at all. Who are you, John?
I know I've never seen this man in my life, other than like 3 or 4 times a week. It's amazing. Um,
Exactly.
I've had the pleasure of working with Mayor for the last like 7 years almost, and he's impacted my life. My business is growing dramatically from it, increased the ability to see what's possible, and also like you think you work with somebody as a coach to help you professionally, and you miss out on how much they can help you personally. And that's one of the things that's been so incredible about Mayor in my life is, I have three beautiful, amazing kids, an amazing marriage that continues to grow and expand and is beautiful. And this man here has a lot to do with it. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Eileen is fantastic and one of the people that I thought of as a great opportunity for her to come talk with you, Mayor, because she just inherently gets a lot of what you teach. And so
Wow.
I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, great. I'm really, really excited about today. So let's start, Eileen, your first question. And John, if you can, just before we starting, when we're not talking, just mute yourself and go to Facebook while I'm talking to Eileen and create a watch group. Okay, Eileen, first question. We cannot hear you. You are muted. Eileen, you're muted.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect. Yes, thank you, Mayor. So my first question to you is, especially for someone like me, I feel that I have different gifts, I have different talents, right? And one of the
Mhm.
decisions for me was, when I was thinking about, okay, I'm going to leave corporate and do my own business, right? Because there's so many things I feel like I'm strong at and I can do. So my question is to you is that how does one know which path to take to to realize their dreams and their aspirations and what they want to do when there seem to be there's so many different options and different paths that they can take? How do you narrow that down and say, you know what, this is the path I'm going to,
Yes,
embark on?
yeah, yeah. So, in order to understand how to do that, you need to think about it as, let's say you're standing in a place and there are many, many roads. And you need to decide which road you're going to take, and each one of them look more sexy than the other road, and you don't really know which one is the nice one. You never look at the beginning of the road. What you need to do is to decide where you want to get to, what you want to have. Based on what you want to have, you will realize what you need to do, and so you will become someone, and you will decide, okay, I'm going to be A. Now, once you will become someone, you will see that there will be only one road that will fit you,
Right. That makes
because For example, if I become a father, or you become a mom, there's only one road to a mom, a good mom. And what is this good mom? How does she know which turn to take? Is based on where does she want to arrive to. So you define what you want. You start always with the result. And once you have the result, you go backward and decide what you want to do. And then you know what you want to be. And generally, the difference between a person and a robot is a robot is a person that is a thing that doing things. It's just doing without knowing where he wants to arrive to. A person defined where he wants to arrive to and deduce from there what he wants to do. And so he become. So which road you take, you can say that decision of which road to take is the least important decision, because the most important decision is what do you want to have at the end. The second most important decision is what you need to do. And once you have these two, what you want to do and what you want to have, you will see that it will be very obvious what you need to become.
Absolutely. So basically, what you're saying, and it's kind of like the saying that says, "Begin with the end in mind." So
yes, it begins with the end in mind, and that end need to be very well defined as something that you want to have. What do I want to have? So if I want to have, let's say I'm a father, okay, and I want to have an obedience child, I will do certain things. But if I want to have a powerful child, I will do something else. If I want to have a child that is a leader, I will do different things. So you need to decide what kind of child you want to have at the end. And based on that, you will know what to do. What do I want to have? If I want to have, by the end of my road, a business that generated for me saving of $1 million, I will do certain things. If I want $100 million, I will do certain things. And if I want a debt, I will not do a lot of things. I will do certain things. Yes.
Right.
So you really need to define what you want to have, and it will inevitably define what to do. And most people never have what they want to have. They will tell you what they want to do and what they like and what they aspire to and all kind of things, but they don't know what they want to have. And because they don't know exactly what they want to have, they don't get what they want because they never define it. If you sit down and you ask any person in the street, what do you want to have? He will tell you, well, I want to work in a bank. No. What do you want to have? Well, I want to have a lot of money. Okay, that's a lot of money, as also can be a lot of debt. It's a lot of money. As what exactly is a lot, and what's a lot for you is not what's a lot for me. If you don't define exactly what you want to have, you will not know what to do, and so you will be a robot that doing with no end in mind. Does it make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. John.
Okay, to tag on to that, this is a very business-oriented exercise. Now, I've dealt with you in the past, and I know that this actually applies across the board. You want this for your business, but you want this for your family. How is that possible that something so basic, so simple as this can apply in so many different places? And does it apply in different places? Like, what's your point of view on that?
My point of view is truth always work. If I leave this thing, it falls here in Chicago and even in Israel, like anywhere, even if the place is sane or insane, this thing falls always, yes? Because it's something that true, yes, from that definition of the word truth. So when something is true, it will apply all over. If it applies in that condition, but don't apply in that condition, it contains lies. So once you have all of this condition, it's true, but not when I'm over 30 and not when I'm below 12 and only if it's in Chicago but not in LA, then it's not true. It's complex and it contains a lie. The truth is always simple, and it always applies for everything. If you have a definition of what is money, it applies to everything. Money is money. If you understand how money flows or where money flows to, it always flows in the same way. And despite what everyone believes, it has nothing to do if you are Jewish or not. It flows according to the same laws. Yes. So when something is true, it always works, and that's one of the indications that you're dealing with truth. Let me just say hi to a few people that we have here on the chat. So we have Janelle, of course, hi, and Ray, hi, and Pedro, and Benny, hello, and Nancy, nice to see everyone, and we have hi, and that's good, and yay, Aline, and very, very nice. And we have people on Instagram that watching us, but I cannot see the comments. So thank you for joining us, and please create watch groups. Okay, Aline, next question.
Next question for you. So basically, you are a person, that's been, that's very successful. And I see that you have like over 20 plus multi-million businesses, right? So when you say, what do you say to individuals, right, that do want to expand themselves and create different businesses, but they feel that they're not equipped, or they're not, like, how can one person do this? And they kind of like, I guess pretty much just kind of like, miss out on opportunities because they don't feel like they have that capacity to do it, but it's there, it's in their heart. Like, what do you say to someone like that to say, you know what, yeah, you could do more than one business, it's possible. Like, how would you guide someone mentally to kind of navigate to get to that point?
Yeah, so your capacity is defined by your ability to do one thing. If you can do one thing properly, one cycle properly, and get it to a done, you can do billions. And the more you cannot do, if you can do only 2, you have less capacity. If you can do only 3, you have less capacity. When you can do one item fully, you have infinite capacity. And most people think that their capacity is defined by the ability to multitask. There's no such thing as multitasking. In this universe, you can do one thing at a time and one thing alone. And if you can close something properly, the amount of power that you will generate thereafter will be endless. And you can take an example and you will see that when you actually close cycles of action and you close and you close and you close and you close, what you're actually leading to is the ability to close this last cycle of action. If you can close this one last cycle of action, at that moment you're powerful. So how do you expand? How do you run 30 businesses or 40 businesses? How do you run many people across the globe? How do you do that? You do that by starting one business with 3 people and make sure that those 3 people close the cycles of action. They don't have backlog. They don't have things that stays behind. And if you can do that, you will see that the expansion will be inevitable. When you try to expand for the purpose of expansion, you don't expanding up, you're expanding down. You're digging a hole. And you really have to get that. It is tricky, but the way to improve yourself is to be able to do one cycle and one cycle alone. And when you do what you do, when you're doing it, you are now become able, you are now become someone that can run the whole universe. Actually, the word competence means the ability to do what you do when you're doing it. So when you zoom in and you can do one thing, and for you there is only one thing, and all the other thing in the universe is gone, at that moment you become God. And you can create anything you want. And most people think, I need to do this and this and this. And when they do this, they think about another 50 this. And while they do this, they see Facebook and they do Facebook while they're watching Netflix and they're trying to start a new business and the end result is just a mess. So what you want to do is to reduce the game to a place where you can do one thing at a time. And at that moment, you will see, you will have endless ability to run endless number of companies, and the expansion will really be inevitable. You will have to be a genius not to expand. Okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. That's
You're
a great
welcome.
answer.
Yes. There's more people that saying hi. Nancy, say hi, and Nadine is saying hi, and Nimra, hello. Yes, Janelle, it is so simple. That's true. Yes, that's really nice. Okay, good. John.
Okay, so when you're focusing down into that one thing at a time, now that's not to say that that's the only thing you look at forever. That's the thing you focus on until you're done. And then you
Yeah.
move on to the next cycle and you close that cycle. And then you move on to the next cycle. Like, so the ability to pick up those
When you do
cycles.
that, for you, there's no other cycles.
Yeah. Okay.
When you do that, for you, there is no other cycle in the universe. If I'm talking to you right now and I'm thinking about what's my wife doing and I'm thinking about my next meeting and I'm not with you and I will not do this thing properly and I will not do anything properly. One thing at a time. And for you, you need to get to a point where there is nothing else in the universe other than this zero time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at, is this idea of you've got to be in the moment. You've got to be present doing what you're doing. And that's a skill that you have taught and I've implemented, I use it, I still can do it better. Like, there's no question about it, because like I had other things going on today. And then when it came to this, it was like, okay, set everything else aside. I'm here because I want to be here and no place else. And when I'm dealing with my kids, I want to be with them and nothing else. And like on and on and on. It's amazing how that concept, it's so simple,
Yeah.
but it applies across the board.
It's really unbelievable, and how powerful this concept is. And you will see that the way that people doing other thing while they're doing what they're doing is in many, many ways. You can ask a person a question, what's the time now? And he will tell you, well, when I looked at my watch, usually, I look at it and it reminds me of my dad, because my dad had a similar watch. And he always would. So he's not answering the question. So he's not doing what he's doing. He's now going to all kind of places other than what he needs to do. This ability to be sharp and do that without any extra movements, just A to B, straight line, just that. There is nothing in the universe other than going to that specific point is everything. Because most of the people, it will go like that. You start to go towards, let's say you get a phone call and your wife says, look, one of the kids is choking and he cannot breathe. You need to come home to help him. You've got 1 minute before he is going to die. And you said, okay, I'm coming. And you start to run, and 5 seconds into the run, there is a cat in the street that wants milk. And you say, oh, I'll just go and help the cat. And you're starting to go and help the cat. And while you're helping the cat, it scratches you. So now you say, you know what, cat, you are really bad. I need to train you. And then another dog comes, and it will be insane, yes? Because you do all kind of things other than going from point A to point B. That's life for most people. They start to do something. They know, if let's say that they define what they want to achieve, and they start to go to what they want to achieve. And then there is a cat, and they go, and then there's another cat, and then there is another scratch, and they never actually progress, because they don't do what they do when they're doing it. and they become expert in not doing what they're doing when you're doing it. And if you can just train yourself, like really train yourself to do one thing at a time, you don't need to actually do anything else other than this one thing at a time. Money will run after you like upset dogs. It will just come after you, and it will want to bite you, and it will want to come and hold on to you. It is just automatic. You want a lot of money? Do what you do when you're doing it, and you will not be able to run away from this thing, and there will not be big enough bank to hold all of it.
That's the goal.
Exactly.
That is definitely the goal.
Really, that's the secret. If someone will tell me the one thing that will change everything, because you can go and learn how to sell and how to market and all of these things, super important. You need to know how to be a good salesman. You need to be a good marketer. You need to be a good organizer. You need to be a good executive. You need to be good at a lot of things. But if I was in any corporate America, or if I was just out of high school, or if I just born and I want to start making money, I will teach my son one thing: close the cycle of action and do only that, nothing else. All the rest is not important. Money will come to you automatically. You need all the rest. You need to know how to sell, how to market, all of these other things. You need to learn how to do them when you cannot keep on a given course. This is really amazing.
I agree completely. It's fantastic. And you brought up something in that response that kind of, I was thinking about what we were talking about here as a general idea. And how is it that people should be able to determine for themselves, is corporate better? Is being an entrepreneur better? Or how, and I think we might be tying back into Eileen's first question, but how do they decide what it is that they should go for? What should that one thing be?
Yeah, this is false data that people believe that if you want to be a millionaire, you need to be like you need to own your own business. But the truth is that most millionaires do not own their own businesses. They work for someone. That's quite amazing. So the question is not what you want to be, is what you want to achieve. How will you achieve that result? So you really need to sit down and write down what you want to achieve. And I can tell you, anyone that's listening to us right now, write down what you want to achieve, and you will see that what you're writing is not so. It's, I want a car, and I want to have a car, and I want to have a beautiful house. Okay, good, you've got it. Next. It's what do you want to actually achieve professionally? If you want a car and a beautiful house, just marry the right person. And that's easy. That's nothing. I mean, that's not what you want to achieve. What kind of effect you want to create? How many people you want to help, and in what way? What value will you bring to many people? And this is what you want to have. What effect you want to have on people? You will see that most people that drive expensive cars are really not rich. How do I know? Because those people that are rich do not need to show off and to tell everyone, hey, listen, I'm rich. I have lots of friends that you will see their house, you will see their clothes, you'll see who they are. And if you see them in the street, you will think that they are less than average, but they are millionaires, billionaires. They don't need to advertise it. If you need to advertise it, probably, not always, yes? Maybe you like nice boats or nice car, okay, fine. But probably you are not rich. If someone needs to advertise it, he probably is not rich, and most of the time you will see that the car that they drive do not belong to them. It belongs to the bank. They're just paying it off. And the house they have do not belong to them. They're just showing off. So actually they're wasting money. They don't have money. You see the idea? It's like they totally have misconception of what's really going on. So, so which way to go? You really have to define where you want to arrive to, and that's I've helped tens of thousands of people on either one-on-one or in groups, and probably 100,000 of people or millions of people that listen to me. I never found someone that I asked him, what do you want to have? And he could actually define it. Never, not one person in all my history. They're very good in telling me what they want to do. And they always tell me, yes, I want to have money. Okay, fine, I understand. Become Jewish, then just have circumcision and that's it. Okay, does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Next question, Eileen.
All right. My next question for you is, how do you help someone recognize their own abilities, right? Their gifts, in a sense of like basically understanding like what their gifts are, looking deep inside of them, because for me, like for one, I am one of those people. I do everything. I do it from the heart. You know what I mean? So when others see me and they say, "Oh, you've done such a great job," or "You've done this," and I'm like, "Really?" But for me, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, right? So typically, what happens in those situations is that you kind of lowball yourself, right? So how do you recognize your own gifts and wow, I am, without coming off like, you're egotistical, or you're just, I'm all that, but hey, you know what? I do have this and I can capitalize off of this gift and this talent, so how do you bring that out? How does someone bring that out and be able to make it work for themselves?
Okay, so if you cannot be full with yourself and think that you are the most badass, able, cocky, unbelievable person, but while allowing everyone to be exactly the same as you, if you cannot do that, these two things, you need to think that God is just not the real God, yes, that God is your junior, like you are the best of the best of the best. And you need to think at the same time that everyone else is the best of the best of the best. If you cannot do that, you will not succeed. You never see a successful person, tame person. To be successful, you need to think that you're God, and you need to make sure that everyone else feel as God as you. If you can do these two things, then you're not anymore egoistic. It's not bad. It is just the truth, because you, the spirit, you are endless. It's not that you have talent in one area. You are perfect. You have all the abilities in the universe. You know everything. Actually, the definition of the word spirit is this thing that knows. You have that potential, and this potential will show the moment that you will allow everyone else to have the same potential. The moment that you allow everyone else to have the same potential, what happened is something amazing. Before you realize that you are perfect and everyone else is perfect, what you think is that everyone has flaws and you have flaws, and to feel good, you say I'm bad, and you need to make everyone bad so you feel good, but you know that you are not, so you feel bad, so you need to make everyone bad, and it's a process of all day long finding faults. So most people, most of the time, are expert in finding faults. This is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and he's left, and he's right, and he's support Trump, and he's support this, and he's support that, and they just find what's wrong, and they find 50 billion ways to find what's wrong, and they become really good at seeing wrong. They become expert because for years they've been training to find what's wrong, so they become expert in finding wrong. So even if you put in front of them gold, they will not see it because they've been trained in finding not gold, but bad things. What's wrong? And so they believe that everything is wrong. If I all day long look for wrong, I know I'm wrong, and I know that everyone else is wrong. And even if I think that I'm not wrong, but everyone else is wrong, so what can I do? Everyone is wrong, so I have to be wrong as well. You know, in a city of criminals, you cannot be the only non-criminal. You die, so you become a criminal, yes? And you will deteriorate and deteriorate and deteriorate. The only way for you to actually recognize good is you need to train to look for good. Because good is there. Gold is there, right in front of you. There is more success than failure. There is more success than failure. How do I know? Because in order to fail, you first need to succeed.
Correct.
Good come before bad. In order for this to break, I need to first have it. So plus come before minus, good before bad. Love come before hate. You cannot hate someone that you never loved. Do you understand? Because plus come before minus. And because you have been training yourself for years and years and years and years and years to find only what's bad, you find only bad. And you become really good at it. Amazing. And if you just change that and listen, I'm the best in the universe, the most handsome, the most badass, the most smart, the most clever, the most everything. And everyone else have exactly the same abilities, exactly the same. Then everything is beautiful now, because most of the time people say, I'm good in order to show what's bad with others. What they say I'm good because they are not. I'm talented, which means they are not. What I'm saying is, I'm not talented. I'm super talented. I'm mother and father of talented, and everyone else too. If you just say one side, you will actually, you use it in a bad way. You use it to make other people wrong. And if you actually say, I'm good and everyone else is good, you will see that all of a sudden your eyes will open and you will see how much there is. I know that in order to succeed, you mustn't be humble. Humble people die. You mustn't be careful. You need, like you've got a virus coming to you, look at the virus, and the virus should say, whoa, shoot, it's him, zoom, run. Because the virus should be afraid of you, not you of the virus. You should be so powerful that you're afraid of nothing. Nothing. You're not afraid, you're not careful, you are not useless. You are powerful, badass, and you know that everyone is as powerful and as badass as you, and you don't accept anything else. You don't go and say, oh, you poor thing, you married to the wrong family. No, you married to the wrong family, make it right. I married to a family that was very poor. 6 children in the north of Israel, in the border, being bombed every day since the age of 0. I couldn't walk when I was born. If I was thinking about, oh, you poor thing, look, I've got proof I cannot walk, I've got all those proof why I should be useless, then I will be useless. Or I can look at it and I say, well, that's nothing. Good.
I mean, yes. Yeah, you know what? I thank you so much for sharing that, because that was very freeing for me, right? Because being raised in my culture where you have to be humble, you have to step down. And what you were speaking is, and I've always felt this internal, turmoil, because my spirit is always been saying what you're saying, but then I am being taught to be meek and humble, and it was always causing this conflict inside of me. But I know there's so much greater and so much more. And to hear that, it's like, okay, Eileen, free, like be free, and and be that confident person and that strong person that that you are. And I thank you so much for that. Absolutely.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I really think that your body is not important. I will die for my country. And I will die for what I believe. And I will die for my ideas, because I'm not careful. If I would be careful, I will not die for anything. So any small wind that will do, I will change direction and I will be useless and no one. And I will be humble and sorry. And no, that's not the way to live. That's the way to die. The most humble people is the dead people at the graveyard. They're very humble. I don't know if you notice. They don't argue. They feel sorry for themselves. So you want to be alive. Alive people are, how do you know that you're alive? You are brave enough to know that everyone is perfect. You don't need to make them wrong. Because you are so perfect that you are brave enough to know, not to believe, to know that everyone is perfect. You don't succumb to invitation to think that people are anything less than perfect, despite the fact that they do things that are not perfect. But it doesn't turn them into not perfect. My son got married to Mariah about a few months ago. And I was talking in their wedding, and what I told them, that the advice that I can give them as a dad is, I told them that the one thing, if you could do one thing, you will have the best marriage in the universe, the best children, the best future, the best everything. And it is to evaluate the person by his intentions and never by his actions. Because the intentions are always good and their actions are not always good, are often bad. So people, if you can ignore the action and you love the person, not his action, you love the person, not what he's doing. If you can do that, separate that spirit that is perfect and really trying to do good, and many times have all kind of pressure and things that happening that we are not even aware of. So the action are not so good and not so ethical and not so beautiful. If you can separate between these two, you can see that you can get to an age of 100 and still be in love. That's my advice to them. John, your turn.
The first thing I want to do is to indicate that I have put that into practice, and finding the positives has allowed me to gain so much more control, to appreciate those around me so much more, to know that they really are beautiful and perfect, just like I am. And that is something that is like, it's world changing, plain and simple. It really is. So one of the questions that I had for you that I'm going to kind of steal from Eileen a little bit, because it was so wonderful and it fits in kind of where we are. Are there drills, are there activities that people can do on a daily basis to improve themselves and their ability to see positive things, their ability to see the best in themselves, and how can they put this practically into use?
Okay, so the definition of the word success is the sum of all validated improvements. So success is actually a calculator, and you go through your life and you say improvement, 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 improvement. And at one point, the number of improvement is bigger than the number of I'm not so good, I'm not so good. And at one point, you become successful. And at that moment, you start to create. So success is something that is a number game of improvement, improvement, improvement. But yet most people see what's wrong. So when you see what's wrong, you actually say deterioration, 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 deterioration. So you cannot become successful. So what you can do is every day, at the end of each day, sit down and look and make a list in your head. Just make a list of the improvements that you had today, and ignore, totally ignore anything that was bad. Just make a list of the improvement. And your target, if today you had 10 improvements, your target, you need tomorrow 15. So you need to be very aware. Where do I improve? And you write down 10, 15, 16, 17, and you improve the numbers. And all of a sudden you will see that your eyes took out the filter that allow you to see bad, and you put on a filter that allow you to see only good. And when you see good happen. And when you see bad, bad happen. It is not that there is good or bad in the universe. It is what you see in the situation. Because there is no situation that don't have more good in it than bad. Impossible. Why? Because plus come before minus. You have an accident. If your eyes are adjusted correctly, you will find the good in it. So you need to count. You need to count, physically count how many improvements you had today. And every time that you actually have an improvement during the day, stop and report to yourself. And you say, look, I am so hot. If someone will touch me now, woo, I am so hot. When I, every time I see a mirror, I never fail to look at the mirror and just say, whoa, how people even can look at that perfection. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And when I see any person in the street, I tell them how amazing and beautiful they are. There's no one that going into an elevator with me, no one that meet me in the street. I don't know them, but I'll see the amazing thing about them and I will tell them, look, your eyes are to die for. What with those eyes? They're so beautiful. Or your hair is like from out of space. This is like the best hair I've ever seen. And I give them compliment and always truth. I find things that are beautiful, amazing, wow about them, and I tell them. So if I have 15 improvements, I need to have at least 15 beautiful things with other people. When you have these two, you will see that within days, you will start to create miracles. You will become lucky. What does it mean, lucky? Lucky is someone that cannot see bad. Lucky, a person that lucky is just someone that cannot see bad. So it's impossible. Just good come to him. Because for him, there's no bad. So the universe have no choice and it has to give him good. It's like checkmate.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Make sense? Eileen, last question. Unmute yourself. We cannot hear you, Eileen. Almost, we cannot hear you.
I muted. No, I muted you for a second. I was like just taking it all in because that is a great exercise. I think it'll be challenging as well, especially when you know that there are people that just sometimes are ugly, and to be able to sit there and try to find something good,
Yeah.
but you're absolutely right. They are, but you're so in that moment in your head about that person you're kind of blinded to their good. So,
Yes.
and I think that's going to be a challenging exercise, but it's a good one as well, like you said, because then
there's no good people that are no many bad things in them, and there is no bad people that are no very a lot of good things about them. The question is, what did you decide to find? Because you will find only what you're looking for. You find only what you're looking for. You find only
That's
what
true.
you're looking for. You first put it there and then you see. You find only what you're looking for. You take this lady and you meet her and you want something from her and you find all the good things. And the next morning you look at her and you find all the bad things. Why? She did not change. You're looking for something else. You find only what you're looking for. There is no such thing as bad people. You will see that you take a person, if I bring, I don't know, Jesus or Moses in front of people right now, you will see just by them being so good, everyone around them will immediately become good. Because they've seen them only good. So you find only what you're looking for. There is no such thing as a bad person. There's such thing as someone that you put bad in them and now you need to be right. And you say, oh, you see, I told you he's bad.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, there's no such thing as an ugly person. There's no such thing as a bad person. And I'm not saying that there is no such thing as people doing bad actions.
Yeah.
But the spirit is perfect. And anything that is not perfect, it's not the spirit. You are perfect, and anything that is not perfect is not you. And you will see that when you do something bad, you tell to yourself, I don't know why I've done it. It's not me. You tell to yourself, it's not me. You know it's not you. And if you come to one of my seminars, you will even learn who is that thing and what's the difference between you and entities and why you're doing different things and blah, that are not perfect, etc. But that's not the subject of today. Today, I can tell you for sure that after working in all the jails in Israel, after seeing the best and the worst in mankind, I can tell you, I never found someone that his intention was not good. Never. And I talked to the worst criminal and the best people, like people with a heart of gold. But always had good intention. And it is me that find what's there. I find only what I'm looking for. Okay, John, last question.
Oh, no, that's good.
Honestly, Mayor, I think that's just about perfect to end on. Because you demonstrate to everyone how you can find those good things in those people. And I've seen you in action. I've seen it. I'm implementing it in my life, and it has a huge result. I thank you for your sharing of this information and your willingness to put that good there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me just say thank you to everyone that's here. So I see a lot of people here commenting. Nancy, thank you. And I see Facebook users that says, I love it. It is a brilliant attitude and knowledge. See everyone in a good and positive way. And another first book user, oh my God, all three of you are so extraordinary. Love you so much. And we have Nancy as again, checkmate. And Yaniv, wow, Mer, you are amazing. Thank you, Yaniv. And there is so many comments from so many people. Amazing. Arjun, wow, really wonderful idea. It can literally change the world. Yes, I agree. And Nancy says, yes, thank you, Mayor, thank you. And we're just amazing. Yes, it is. If you think that it's amazing, it means that you are amazing. You find only what you're looking for. Only, really, it is quite fascinating. You find only what you're looking for. Okay, so before we're going, I just want to tell you that I'm doing something that's called the Family Academy. And you can go to www.com/family. And you can find there free webinars, free recording of the Family Academy or the introduction to the Family Academy. And while it's called the Family Academy, it's actually Life Academy. And if you liked what you heard today in this show, you will find much more in detail about you, about your children, about your partners, about this life, about things that you don't even know that exist, that affects your everyday life. And you will really change your life if you will watch those videos. It's totally free, and it is totally the most expensive thing you've ever seen. So go and watch it. Eileen, thank you very much. John, thank you. And Shamaya, thank you for organizing this interview and show. And we are going to, and now stay with me for a second while I'm putting on the exit. And everyone that join us and comment and watch, please share. And thank you for watching. I love you. Mwah.
Thank you for having